Wow, hey, hello there. I heard you were thinking about Vtubing. Joining you in your quest for knowledge, I, the illustrious Leica, will be your tour guide through the fantastical realm of imagination and the endless void of the internet. So, believe in the me who believes in you, becoming the wife or husbando of your dreams. Let's rock and roll. There is no right or wrong way to start VTubing, and while most opinions are valid to some extent, some exceptions may apply, advice has to resonate with you before it can be effective. So, first of all, listen. Don't rush. There are some choices you should make before you start out, and it is okay to take all the time you need to figure out what you're doing. For example, your name will define your brand. Don't pick something generic. Do some research, make sure you're not sharing a name with 70 other VTubers or live streamers. Be unique, but don't be overly complicated. You want to be memorable. You can also wait until you have a design to decide on your name, since one might inform the other. For example, I knew that I wanted to be a dog from the start, and I've always loved space, which is how the name Leica fell into my lap. If you need help conceptualizing a character, try making a mood board on Pinterest with your inspirations, or try looking inward. Think about what you want out of streaming, what you want out of life. What did you want to be when you grew up? What's your favorite animal? Do you like any mythological beings? What are your hobbies and passions outside of streaming? You could be your favorite animal in your favorite profession. You could be the child of your favorite deity. If you're into fashion, maybe you've got plans for your character's outfit to be an extension of their personality. Or maybe if all you watch is Monster Musume anime, maybe, you want a design that's not necessarily humanoid. You don't need to build a complex backstory unless you want to. Especially if you plan to be in character more often than not. Hard. Lore is just a fancy way of saying original character, do not steal. It's just the flourishes you give to a basic concept to make it your own. As someone who writes VTuber lore short stories and scripts for extra cash, let me tell you, it is a non-essential part to starting your journey. Non-essential. It can be a huge help for conceptualizing character details. But don't sweat it. When you're working out your design, there's nothing wrong with juxtaposition and unusual combinations, but please, make sure you don't go out of your comfort zone just because something seems cool, or worse, because something is popular. If you're shy or easily embarrassed, maybe don't be a succubus. That whole lewd versus say-so thing is a load of crap. It's all about your personal comfort zone. If you're a cat person, don't be a dog. Be whatever and whoever you want, but be aware that people will often take you at face value. This extends to your personality as well as your image. It's especially important to decide whether you're going to be yourself with a fun avatar or a new person entirely. While you may have no trouble putting on a persona to interact with your viewers, be aware that the expectation to keep up a character can be exhausting. Are you going to put on the in-character act while networking, collaborating, getting familiar with other creators? Your design, your virtual face, is also the face of your brand. So you have to like it from the bottom of your heart. Remember, you have unlimited potential. Don't waste it on derivative concepts and designs. There's a difference between an homage and plagiarism. For instance, don't create a character who belongs to a fictional race from your favorite TV show, or book series, or tabletop game. If you ever plan on monetizing, or even if you don't, copyright's a big deal. I'll say it once, and I'll say it 1,000 times. Copyright is a big fucking deal. Copyright is a big fucking deal. Well, this is great, Leica, but when do I get clout? That's the neat part. You don't. Maybe it'll come in time when you start streaming, but you're nowhere near doing that yet. You don't even have your avatar. And how do you go about getting a VTuber model anyway? There are 2D options, live 2D options, 3D options, PNGs, GIFs, pre-made, custom. Every option for VTuber models is hella valid. And yes, that is the technical term for it. Hella valid. You can get a flat illustration to use as a model, whether it's a PNG or a GIF. Don't you dare say GIF. Don't do it. Don't do it. So once you have your image, And although you can get some additional illustrations or frames for it speaking in quiet faces or for different expressions, you really just need the single base image. It's usually what people call PNG tubing, or VTubing with a PNG. More commonly, and way more expensively, there's the live 2D model. This consists of an image drawn with a ton of care and detail, separated into a frightening number of individual layers that can then be imported into another program and rigged to move. Because each part needs to be taught its own particular arcs of motion, the separation of layers is really, really important. If you don't receive an image with separated layers, usually in a PSD file, you will have trouble getting your model rigged. Don't share your PSD file with anyone other than your chosen rigger either. Anyone with a separated file can rig your model, and therefore use it. There's also the option to go 3D, which can be totally free if you're savvy enough with a program like VRed Studio. Kind of awesome, actually. Look into all of these options to determine what's best for you. Some websites like Booth or Nizima offer cheap 3D and even cheap live 2D models if you're okay with a cookie cutter mold while you experiment. While you're working on that charming face of yours, it's time for you to build your social media presence. Keep in mind you'll want to aim for a consistent username across all of your platforms. Use your name or a variant of it, preferably without extraneous words or phrases unless they're also key to understanding your brand. Taking VT for VTuber, or CH for channel, at the end of your username is a really common thing to do. The more consistent your name appears, the more people will recognize it, and recognize you. Even if you don't plan on using a certain platform to generate your content, you may want to interact with your peers who are there, and therefore you'll want to make it easy for them to find out who you are. So don't be afraid to take your username everywhere. Make all the things. Register a Gmail with your VTuber name. Grab a Twitch account, a YouTube account, maybe TikTok. Set up a Twitter. Hell, make an Instagram. Then set up a business PayPal account. This protects your identity so you can simp safely while supporting other streamers. Otherwise, your real name will show up on all those commission invoices. These accounts will all work in tandem to catapult you into the public eye and craft your image. The decision to stream on Twitch or on YouTube can be a really tough one, and people vastly more informed than I am have gone over the pros and cons of each. TikTok can generate some notability too if you're not a boomer like me. Twitter can be a great platform for VTuber networking when you're not streaming. There are even tweets specifically aimed at VTuber networking, where you ask every #ENVTuber to drop a PNG of their model and introduce themselves. And who doesn't love some good old-fashioned engagement baiting? Eh? But I digress. Once you have your name in your design, logos are a solid brand builder. With this too, you'll want commercial usage included in the design. Remember, copyright's a big fucking deal. So we're all about making sure you actually own the stuff you're getting commissioned. The thing about VTubing is you don't need to spend ungodly amounts of money to have basic stuff to work with. There's a ton out there for free. Hop over to ye olde Google or Twitter and type free VTuber assets and watch the results roll in. Just make sure you don't violate any terms of usage for the free stuff. Always credit your artists too, even if they say it's optional. Giving someone credit for great work is never optional. So, with all this preparation, are you ready yet? Probably not. Do you even know what you plan to stream? Don't say games. Don't fucking say games. They fall into so many genres and styles that you can choose just one and have content for years. You can make scripted content, do ASMR, react live, open trading cards. If you can dream it, there's no reason you can't do it. So listen. You don't have to know what you're doing, you just have to like what you're doing. Have fun. Stay tuned. See ya, Space Cases.